calling all forward-thinking estheticians. It's time to redefine the art of skincare and embrace a revolutionary approach that begins with your client's skin cell health. I'm pharmacist Ben Fuchs, welcoming you to Truth Treatment Systems, where beauty begins at the cell. We believe you're not just a beauty professional, you are a healthcare professional. You want to make a positive difference and you want to make a good living, and we will help you do both. We're here to support your out-of-the-box thinking and empower you to question traditional products, outdated formulations, and old-school ingredients. Imagine a world where solutions to the skin's enigmatic conditions lie just beyond the horizon. At Truth, we're not just a skincare brand, we're a movement that encourages you to explore better solutions and find that aha moment that changes the game. You are an artist and a healer of the skin, and we're here to provide the canvas and the tools for you to create tailored protocols, leaving generic ones in the past. Sign up now at truthtreatmentspro.com and receive 2 complimentary mineral-rich electrolyte sheet masks. That's truthtreatmentspro.com, where healthy skin is beautiful skin.
This podcast is sponsored by LAMPROBE. LAMPROBE is a popular aesthetic tool that enables skincare practitioners to rapidly treat a wide variety of common minor skin irregularities, or MSI. Red MSI treated by LAMPROBE include dilated capillaries and cherry angiomas, yellow MSI, cholesterol deposits and sebaceous hyperplasia, and brown MSI treated include skin tags and more. LAMPROBE MSI treatments are non-invasive and deliver immediate results. LAMPROBE can empower your skin practice with these new and highly in-demand services. For more information, visit lamprobe.com. That's LAMPROBE.com. And follow LAMPROBE on social media at LAMPROBE.
Hello and welcome to ASCP and the Rogue Pharmacist with Ben Fuchs. In each episode, we'll explore how internal and external factors can impact the skin. I'm Maggie Stasek, ASCP's Education Program Manager, and joining me is Ben Fuchs, skincare formulator and pharmacist. Hi, Ben.
Well, hello, Maggie. You're getting really good at this.
I know. It's like...
You're smooth.
So collagen is a hot trend, not just in skincare and beauty, but also in the health and nutrition industry.
I'll tell you where else it's a big thing. In biology.
Oh,
in
really?
The body, in health.
I was going to say in veterinary medicine too. Like you can give your little pup a
You're talking
collagen.
about edible. You're talking about eating collagen. Yeah, the molecule collagen is arguably the most important, well, I would say it is the most important structural molecule in the body. The body's made up of 4 types of stuff. In biology, we don't say stuff, we say tissue, right? So there's 4 kinds of tissue, 4 kinds of stuff. Tissue sounds all sciencey, so we'll just say stuff. There's the bulk of the body. The bulk of the body is coated, not really candy coated, but coated, and then it's electrified. So the 4 types of stuff are the two types of stuff that make up the bulk of the body, 2 types of tissue that make up the bulk of the body. The whole thing is coated, and then it's electrified. Have you ever been to the bodies exhibit?
Oh, yeah.
So you see these bodies, right? That's the bulk of the body. That bulk is coated with what's called epithelial tissue. That's the coating tissue. All estheticians know about epithelial tissue because the skin is a classic example of that. And then it's this, I call it the flesh robot that you see at the bodies exhibit, is electrified with nervous tissue. The flesh robot is made up of 2 types of stuff, 2 types of tissue called muscle tissue and connective tissue. If you make a cross-section through that flesh robot at the bodies exhibit, kind of gross, but if you do that and cut it this way, you'll get a steak. And if you look at a steak, you'll see red stuff and you'll see white stuff, right? The red stuff is the muscle tissue. The white stuff is the connective tissue. So the connective tissue and the muscle tissue are integrated. The connective tissue is known as the matrix. Connective tissue is actually made up of fibers and then gooey stuff around the fibers and some fluid. That connective tissue matrix means mother, nurtures, feeds, oxygenates, detoxifies all the cells in the body. So the connective tissue connects everything together, but even more importantly, it is responsible for the nurturing of all of the cells of the body. So the connective tissue, building the connective tissue is the quintessential anti-aging strategy. It's the quintessential health strategy, and there's no disease, chronic degenerative disease, and that includes aging, which isn't really a disease, but has some of the same signs, that does involve deterioration of the connective tissue. And we call it the matrix because it's the womb or the mother for all the cells. So building the connective tissue is the very essence of anti-aging. Everything you want in an anti-aging skincare product, in an anti-aging health strategy, in an anti-aging medical protocol, all involve building connective tissue. The connective tissue, as I say, is made up of gooey stuff and fibers. The most important of the fibers is collagen. So collagen gives the connective tissue structure, gives it firmness. Other than the connective tissue, other than the collagen, the connective tissue is goo. As we age and our connective tissue deteriorates, we become gooier. I call it blobification. And if you look at an older person, you notice they're losing their shape. They're losing their firmness. And this is what accounts for not only the health problems associated with aging, but the cosmetic issues and the overall misery associated with aging. And we spend billions, if not trillions of dollars around the world on products and on protocols and on devices and on all kinds of strategies to build or reverse the gooification, the blobification. So how do you reduce blobification? You increase the ratio of collagen and fibers to goo. You support more the production of more fibers. And this is why collagen has become such a big thing. Because when you build collagen, you get more firmness and less gooification or less blobification. That's why everybody is obsessed with collagen. Nobody wants to blobify. And look, you guys are young and beautiful, but guess what? In about 20 years, that's what happens as we get older, and it's really a tragic thing, but that is what happens. So building collagen reduces blobification. But it's so much more than that. Because when you're building collagen and strengthening connective tissue, because the connective tissue is feeding all the cells, you're going to support the feeding of all the cells. You're going to be supporting the oxygenation of all the cells. You're going to be supporting the detoxification of all the cells. One of the most fascinating aspects of collagen, as well as the connective tissue in general, is they're electrical. And when they're pressured, or when pressure is applied to them, like when you're walking or when you're exercising, they generate electrical charges. It generates electrical charges. So the connective tissue and the collagen are also electrical. And this electricity also plays a role in structuring the body, particularly the water part of the body. So you know how you've heard the body's 60% water, 70% water, right? Everybody talks about that. When you think about it, does that really make sense? Like, how could the body be 70% water? You'd be sloshing around like a puddle as you're walking around. It doesn't happen. If you squeeze your arm, water doesn't come out of it. How could the body be 70% water? Well, it's not really 70% water. It's 70% structured water. And I think you and I have talked about this in the past. It's a special kind of water that has solidity. And that solidity, that structuring of water, is the end result of a reaction, an electrical reaction between collagen, the molecules that form collagen, and the molecules that form water. So collagen doesn't only have a structuring effect, a mechanical structuring effect, it has an electrical structuring effect. And this electrical structuring effect affects all of the electrical properties of the body, including the electricity of the blood. And by the way, the blood is connective tissue. It's the liquid connective tissue. So collagen does so many things, and building collagen as well as building the connective tissue is the very essence of anti-aging. It is the single most important thing we need to do to anti-age the body. Now, we could talk a lot about the body and anti-aging the body and building the structure, but we're talking to estheticians and we're here to talk about the skin. So I'm going to focus here on the skin. But everything that's true about the skin is true about the body and vice versa. So building collagen and building connective tissue are not only important for the structure of the body and for feeding all the cells of the body, it's also important for the skin, as we all know, because connective tissue building strategies are all over the place in skincare, from lasers to peels to injections to topical products to nutritional supplements. Everybody in the skincare business, the professionals mostly, and users are getting the hang of this too, understand that collagen is important stuff. And like it's important for the body, for building the structure of the body and nourishing all the cells of the body and electrifying the body, et cetera, it's also important for the skin. In fact, that's my main strategy in formulating true skin health products. Everything I do when I'm formulating a product is done with an eye towards stimulating the production of collagen. So how do you do this? Well, collagen comes from the fibroblasts. The fibroblasts, in fact, don't only make collagen, they make everything in the connective tissue. They're the mothers of the connective tissue babies, the hyaluronic acid and the heparin and heparan and the chondroitin and all the gooey molecules, as well as the collagen. Remember, connective tissue is made up of fibers and goo. The fibers and goo both come from the fibroblasts. What's cool about understanding the nature of the connective tissue and its relationship to the fibroblasts is if you feed the body the building blocks of the connective tissue, you will build your connective tissue. And this is why collagen supplements are so important. And this is why collagen supplements have become such a big thing. Because by eating collagen, you will build your collagen. But it's not just by eating collagen. You can also eat high hyaluronic acid, and you'll build your connective tissue. Eating beta-glucan or glucans will help build your connective tissue. Eating these carbohydrates, they call them polysaccharides and proteoglycans, like glucosamine, you've heard of that, and chondroitin, will help build your connective tissue. It will help structure your connective tissue. And this is why glucosamine is used for arthritis. And I always tell people, if you want to build strong connective tissue in your skin and prevent wrinkles, use arthritis supplements. Because the same way that these arthritis supplements will support the connective tissue building in your joints, it'll do it in your skin too. So eating collagen is a great strategy. Using the building blocks of the goo part, like chondroitin and glucosamine, can also help you build connective tissue. And then there's cofactors that will help you build connective tissue because the fibroblasts make collagen and make the connective tissue molecules in response to other molecules like vitamin C and copper, which are two extremely important cofactors for the production of collagen. In fact, without vitamin C, you can't make connective tissue, and the disease that's caused by connective tissue deterioration is called scurvy. And scurvy is cured by vitamin C. Now, scurvy is a big-time disease, and people die from scurvy. It's a horrible disease. But when you understand that scurvy is the end result of connective tissue deterioration, and aging is the end result of connective tissue deterioration, in a way, aging is like a form of scurvy. It's not as dramatic as scurvy. It's not as profound as scurvy. Things don't happen as dramatically as they happen with scurvy. With scurvy, you just fall apart and you die. Aging happens much slower, but it's the same mechanism, which tells you that vitamin C is not only your anti-aging molecule or your anti-scurvy molecule, it's your anti-aging molecule. And this is why vitamin C is so important, not just topically, but also internally. We're conditioned to believe that the RDAs, what the RDA, you've heard the term, the RDAs.
Yeah.
Do you know what it stands for?
Yeah, recommended dietary allowance.
Right. I call it the ridiculous dietary allowance because it's enough to keep you from having full-blown scurvy, but it's not enough to slow down the aging process. The RDAs are designed to keep you from having a full-blown disease. They're not designed to keep you healthy and to keep you strong. So you need super high doses of vitamin C on a daily basis to slow down the aging process. And I'm telling you, it is it's so unfortunate and super important to recognize that vitamin C is not just a scurvy vitamin. It's not just something you take when you have a cold. It's an anti-aging substance that you need grams of a day to slow down the aging process. And then topically, what's cool about vitamin C is you can activate the fibroblasts topically. You can turn on connective tissue topically with vitamin C if it's in the right form. And this is another thing, we've talked about vitamin C in the past, water soluble versus fat soluble, and people get really angry at me, and I'm sorry to say this, and I have people influencers on YouTube saying, I don't know what I'm talking about, blah, blah, blah. The fact of the matter is, and I can't be any clearer than this, water-soluble vitamin C does not penetrate effectively through the stratum corneum, period. And in order to get to the fibroblasts, you got to get penetration. And this is where fat solubility becomes important. And fat-soluble vitamin C is leagues ahead of water-soluble vitamin C when it comes to effectiveness. That's THDA, tetrahexyldecylascorbate, and there's some other forms of fat-soluble vitamin C versus ascorbic acid. Internally, ascorbic acid is great. And you should be taking ascorbic acid on a regular basis in supplements because you don't get much in foods. But supplementing with ascorbic acid is really important, as well as supplementing with copper. You probably heard of copper peptides for wound healing. Copper is a very important player in connective tissue building as well. Connective tissue, collagen specifically, is also important for the immune system. And it's actually been used, collagen supplements have actually been used to treat autoimmune diseases, as well as other immune problems. So when you're taking collagen supplements, you're going to be supporting your immune system as well as your skin health and your connective tissue health. You think about it, why would connective tissue substances like collagen, and for that matter, the glucans and high hyaluronic acid, why would they be involved in immunity? Why would they stimulate the immune system? Well, it turns out that the body has scout cells in the blood, scouts. They're looking around for the enemy, bacteria, fungi, parasites, and when they find the enemy, they attack or they initiate a healing response. Well, think about this. If you have collagen or collagen peptides or hyaluronic acid or glucosamine floating around the blood, the body thinks there's an injury. Because under conditions of an injury, that's when you would have these fragments of connective tissue floating around the blood. So when you take these supplements, like, for example, hyaluronic acid or collagen peptides, the body sees these and says, oh, we must be injured. It doesn't know you took a supplement. It thinks there must have been an injury somewhere, and it turns on the production of more collagen and more connective tissue. So in essence, these fragments or pieces of connective tissue, whether it's collagen or collagen peptides or the proteoglycans or carbohydrates, when you eat them, they trick the body into thinking it's been injured, and that turns on the healing response. Injury always, in a healthy system, injury will always turn on healing. That's why we do peels. That's why we do lasers. This is why we exercise. Injury triggers a healing response, and these connective tissue substances taken orally trick the body into thinking it's been injured in order to initiate a healing response. Another thing about collagen is eating collagen is you don't need to eat in supplements. You can eat in foods. Collagen is found in organ meats. And this is a really interesting point. You know, there's this thing called paleo, and a lot of folks are big on eating meat. Well, it turns out that the meat we eat is not the kind of meat that builds the connective tissue. There's two kinds of meat. There's red meat, which is muscle meat, and then there's the meat that forms our organs, heart and brain and kidney and liver. These kinds of meat are rich in connective tissue, rich in connective tissue building substances. In fact, all of the organs of the body get their structure from connective tissue. And a lot of diseases, organ diseases, are caused by deterioration of connective tissue. For example, arrhythmias in the heart or tachycardias in the heart can be caused by deterioration of the connective tissue in the heart. There's a disease called NASH, non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, which is fatty liver disease. Fatty liver disease is a big problem because the connective tissue in the liver starts to deteriorate and starts to break down in response to too much toxicity and a poor handling of fats. So eating connective tissue in organs can help you build your connective tissue. And this is one of the reasons why organ meats are a superior form of meat than muscle meat. And most people don't like organ meats. I certainly don't. I hate liver. But you can take pills. You can take liver pills or organ meat pills, glandular pills, those kinds of things. If you're a vegetarian, you're a little bit out of luck because eating collagen is an animal product. You're not going to get collagen from vegetables, but you can get the cofactors and you can get the amino acids that build up collagen. Collagen is a tripeptide. It's made up of three amino acids: glycine, proline, and hydroxyproline. Now, proline is not really, there's no real urgent need for proline. People don't really suffer from proline deficiencies, but glycine deficiencies are quite common. And glycine is a major building block of collagen. And glycine is found in organ meats, or you can use glycine as a supplement. Glycine also plays a role in detoxification in the liver. So by using glycine either as a supplement or eating foods that contain glycine, you can not only help build your connective tissue, you'll also help support detoxification. And by the way, I forgot to mention this. Bone is connective tissue. So for women who are dealing with osteoporosis, it's not a calcium problem, it's a connective tissue problem. And that's why we take calcium supplements up the wazoo. We take so many calcium supplements in this country, and we ingest so much calcium in this country that there's no other country in the world that has has a higher calcium per capita ingestion than the United States. I think the Israelis might have more. They're up there too. But the United States is really near the top, and we're also near the top of osteoporosis statistics. So calcium isn't the answer. It's building connective tissue. It's all of these strategies that we talked about. Using collagen supplements, collagen peptide supplements, using cofactor supplements. We have a product called our Collagen Recovery Complex, which I formulated specifically to provide collagen building cofactors for folks who are dealing with post-surgery or pre-surgery. Using collagen building strategies can help you recover from your surgery much faster. People who are athletes or people who are doing triathletes and doing athletic events, they will benefit from collagen building supplements because collagen and connective tissue feed all of the cells of the body. Building collagen is the quintessential anti-aging strategy. Building collagen and connective tissue is the quintessential anti-aging strategy. It's the quintessential immune boosting strategy. It's simple and easy to do if you're using nutritional supplementation, if you're using foods that contain collagen, if you're using the cofactors, and if you're pushing the body. That is exercising. The connective tissue and the collagen are responsive to stresses. The stresses generate electrical charges. That's that piezoelectric effect that we talked about earlier. And that turns on collagen production. And then there's wonderful topical strategies that you could do to stimulate collagen. Vitamin C, fat soluble, retinol. This is one of retinol's most important benefits, is it stimulates collagen production. Alpha hydroxy acids and beta hydroxy acids turn on the wound healing response, as do lasers and microdermabrasion and other strategies. I'm partial to the hydroxy acids, but anything that stimulates the skin and tricks the skin into thinking it needs to heal, much like the glucosamine and the connective tissue particles that float around in the blood upon ingestion, will stimulate collagen production in the skin. Last thing, there are triggers that build connective tissue, chemical triggers that build connective tissue when you're lifting weights or when you're exercising. When those chemical triggers are stimulated by exercise, they will go into the blood and they'll build connective tissue everywhere. So you can actually help slow down skin aging by lifting weights or by doing any kind of exercise that builds collagen.
That concludes our show for today, and we thank you for listening. But if you just can't get enough of Ben Fuchs, the ASCP's Rogue Pharmacist, you can find him at truthtreatments.com. For more information on this episode or for ways to connect with Ben Fuchs or to learn more about ASCP, check out the show notes.